Welcome back to Mondo Musings. I'm your presenter, Nicardo McLean, with the first 100-meter form chart of the season for the Jamaican men. Now, if you're curious about how our charting model works, you can check out the women's version that was released about 2 weeks ago. It provides just a bit of insight into how we rank these athletes at any given point in the season. With that said, let's get into the meat of the matter. Kicking things off is 20-year-old Sachin Dennis, who still lays claim to the titles of fastest 14 and 15-year-old in human history. While questions remain about which country he'll ultimately represent, there is much more certainty regarding his quality. His 10:11 PB to win his section at the Tom Jones Memorial was a timely reminder of why he's still one of global sprinting's most exciting talents. At number 9 is Jelani Walker, who owes his position to the magic of Jonas Marika's wind and altitude adjustment calculator. According to this core form charting tool, the 2022 World Champs relay reps 10:01 with a 2.1 meter per second tail in his season opener is worth 10.11 seconds. Hopefully, his DNF at the Adidas Atlanta City Games is not cause for serious concern. A later and slightly slower start to his season than usual sees reigning national champ and 2011 world champion Yohan Blake positioned outside of the top 3 for maybe the first time since we started charting a couple years ago. Expect him though to rise as his preparations for the defense of his Jamaican title ramp up. More known for his exploits over 200 meters, reigning NACAC half-lap champ Andrew Hudson, who features at number 7, showed that he has the goods to hang over the distance with 3 fast early season runs, including a 10:07 PB in his heat at the Miramar Invitational. The only problem is that he's been missing in action since failing to start in the subsequent final. At number 6 is Sprintex's Kadrian Goldson, who has flashed a noticeably improved start to pair with his characteristically powerful finish in recent races. His impressive 10.11 PB at Velocity Fest 13 indicates that he could be on course to seriously challenge the 10-second barrier by the time Nationals rolls around. Fifth on the countdown this time around is ex-Jamaica College ace Raheem Ford. Following a 2022 in which he only did 560s indoors, the 22-year-old has bounced back with a vengeance. His 10:07 PB at the Atlanta City Games is quite possibly a preview of significant things to come. Meanwhile, in the 4th spot is where we find perennial finalist Julian Fort, who endured a largely forgettable 2022 campaign. A 10:03 season's best in his heat at Velocity Fest 13 back on April 22nd is the surest sign yet that the mercurial elite performance sprinter is rounding back into top form. Prior to his injury at April's Carifta Games, there was no hotter property in Jamaican men's athletics than our Formchart third placer Buwaji and Krumi. Fingers crossed, he returns in the type of shape that saw him become the first Jamaican junior to breach the mythical 10-second barrier in the magical Champs Class 1 final on March 29th. Yohan Blake, who lands in the runner-up spot, solidified his status as Jamaica's current 1B in the event by logging a national-leading 9:89 PB to down the likes of 2019 world champ Christian Coleman at last weekend's LA Grand Prix. It would take a brave man to bet against the 21-year-old, booking a ticket to Budapest based on what he's shown so far. And at number 1, predictably, is world champs 4th placer Oblique Seville, whose 9:95 season's best in his heat at the Miramar Invitational in early April is arguably only his 3rd or 4th best run so far. Comfortably more impressive were his 10:13 against a 2 meter per second wind in his season opener and 9:99 to just get the better of South Africa's Akani Simbine and clubmate Zarnel Hughes in the final at the Atlanta City Games. And that's it for yet another edition of Mondo Musings. Now, many of the guys featured on this chart are slated to go at Saturday's big Racers Grand Prix at the National Stadium in Kingston, so we'll get some idea of just how instructive or charting model proves. As usual, I'd love to know your thoughts on what has been presented, those who you believe I missed out on in particular. Let me know in the comments section. Thanks as always for checking out the content. Until next time, peeps, Godspeed.